Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This is Karev of the Heritage Hip Hop family, and I thank you for joining us on this journey. Today, we have a special interview with a hip hop icon and legend, Bumpy Knuckles. You may know him from songs like The Militia, or you may know him from the Heal Yourself project, or the classic debut single, So Tough. Before we bring you this interview, let me first give respect to our sponsors. First, we have Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes that are changing lives by repairing people's credit and saving them from financial debt and hardships. If you want more information, go to www.transparentcreditrepair.com. We are also brought to you by Fatty's Place. If you're in need of virtual assistance, making a web page, doing your social media accounts to make you look more professional, you can go to Instagram and check out Fatty's Place, FADDYSPLACE. We're brought to you by Wildfire Marketing for people who want placement, promotion, and marketing for a product, service, or good. Check out Fire Jaws, who is the owner and the proprietor of Wildfire Marketing. He's on Instagram at Fire Jaws, one word. And last but not least, for people who love the entertainment world and want to get deep into the knowledge, blogging, and also media coverage, check out Lex Diamonds LLC, Lex Diamonds Entertainment LLC, that is, to get your fill on all entertainment news and in-depth entertainment expertise. I am Karev at Heritage Hip Hop, and we're here to bring you the best of the known and unknown of the hip hop culture. We're not just rap, and we're not just beats. We are the knowledge, the brain trust, and the real estate of Jersey hip hop. So now we bring you our feature presentation, and after, some final words. So everybody, we hope you enjoy this interview. We say peace and stay tuned.
All right. So thank you for taking the interview. I really appreciate this. To everybody who may not know who you are, please give them an introduction to who you are.
My name is Freddie Foxxx, also known as Bumpy Knuckles. That's one.
All right. Now, to be honest with you, you've been one of my favorite kept secrets in hip-hop that's not so secret. And for me to go down the history of how I knew of your music, I remember the first time I seen you in the video, and the song was So Tough. And that song was an absolute classic. And that was in 94?
Yeah, 93, 94.
93, 94. And what I got from you back then was you told reality in a way where not only you are a professor MC, you're also a very streetwise MC. Do you feel that that is the key to making it in the industry and being true to your lyrics?
Well, I mean, you don't have to be streetwise. You just have to. In the music business, if you're talking about, you're just talking about in hip hop.
You can take it any way you want. Well, you can take it any way you want.
All right. Well, let's do it this way then. Well, to me, in order to be what people call success, some people have different definitions for successful, but in order to be a fulfilled MC, to me, you have to have a reach, an imagination, and know how to write that imagination and turn it into lyrics. You have to know how to use and master wordplay, how to say certain things and not be overly metaphoric, like you're forcing it, but more just being able to level the conversation to your peer group every time. That's what I think success is or fulfillment is as an artist, as an MC, rocking the mic, is how to have different facets of delivery so that you can rock the party sometimes, or sometimes you have to go hard in the battle style, or you have to sometimes, tone it down and go talk to the ladies a little bit. So, that vast variety of talent is important as an artist, as an MC. A lot of dudes just doing the same thing over and over, and it's redundant. So anybody that don't have a wide spectrum of ability as an MC, to me, is just basic.
Yeah, I feel that. Because when somebody actually listens to a Freddie Foxxx / Bumpy Knuckles song, you get more than just lyrical gems. You get a life gem in it. And the reality of it is that you can feel it instead of just hearing it. that's what made So Tough a classic to me. And I was very frustrated because I was a little youth at the time, I always wanted to go out to the stores to purchase that record, and I could never find it. Was that actually released?
It never was. It was a single that we ended up shooting a video for, and I think we did drop the single, but the deal was, the deal with Flava Unit went sour, and they never released the album, so they backed off of the project for whatever reason. We fell out, whatever, and they kept it moving, and I kept it moving. But I mean, it's going to be out there because it's out there. Like, you know what I mean? That single is out there, so people can hear it, they understand it. I did get a lot of love from that record, though.
The record is a classic, and unfortunately, in today's hip hop, people just want to make the song, and they're not looking for something long lasting. The first time I heard you, you were a long lasting MC, right then and there.
Thank you.
So I wanted to say thank you for making the record, first of all.
Yeah, no doubt. That's right.
Yeah, and then like as my understanding of hip hop went a little further, you actually did Rough with KRS-ONE on the BDP album.
Yeah. That was Sex and Violence, and we did a song called The Original Way, where actually KRS said, "Listen, let's try something different." Bump. I said, "What's happening?" He said, "Why don't we just rock the mic? We rocked the regular microphone. We wasn't in the booth. We was right in the control room." And we passed the microphone back and forth, when we did The Original Way, because that's how we rocked the mic the original way, which is why the song was called out. And then we did Rough was more like it's funny because when I first came to the studio to do that record, that was my first time really rocking with KRS on a song, so I knew it was going to be on a record, and I thought he wanted me to do something that was more like really pro-black and positive and all this shit. So I laid the first verse I laid. He said, "Yo, I love the verse, it's dope as hell, but I want the dude everybody's talking about in the street. Like, I want that guy." So I said, "Oh, word?" That's what you want? So I said, "Yo, put the beat back on," and I went back in, and then I listen as I flex. You know what I'm saying? So I did that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, you killed it. There's not too many MCs that can get on the mic with KRS-ONE and not be outshined, and you went bar for bar with him.
Yeah, every song I've ever done with him, we feed off that battle energy, and he makes me bring my A game every time, and I'm sure I do the same for him, and I don't think he'll have a problem admitting that.
Yeah, one of the questions I always ask on Heritage Hip Hop in my interviews is, who had one of the best guest 16s in history where the feature could outlast the main artist? And I'm not going to lie, in history, not too many people talk about it because, today everybody goes with the new wave. But when I talk to seasoned hip-hop fans, they bring you up.
Wow.
Yeah. One urban legend is that KRS-ONE saw you doing graffiti and he kept writing verses or something. Is that true?
Nah, I never heard that one.
Okay, well, yeah, well, my man, from Ithaca College, shout out to him. He was like, there was a rumor at one time that y'all were doing verses and you were doing graffiti, and KRS-ONE thought you just kept writing lyrics, so he just kept going in bar for bar to keep going because he saw you writing.
Nah, I never heard that one.
All right, well, there you go. See, the legend of Bumpy Knuckles is bigger than just rhymes then. He got stories. He talks about, they talk about how feverish you are in the microphone. All right. So there's a story about, in the past, if Eric B didn't meet Rakim, it would have been Eric B and Freddie Foxxx, correct?
I don't know. I mean, I know he was looking for MCs, and he asked a local cat who knew me and Rakim both. He said, "I'm looking for the nicest guys. I want to meet whoever's the dopest MC." So I just happened to see them first, and I was in a group, so I couldn't. Being that I was in a group, I didn't want to leave my group, so I really couldn't show up for the meeting like I was supposed to because he didn't want a group. He wanted a solo MC. And, you know, it was just by chance that I met him first. It wasn't like he was looking for me first and all that shit, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Then he ran into, God took him to Rakim's house after that.
Okay. Well, I mean, story for being what it is, it didn't happen. But your reputation and your rhyme skills preceded you in the many years to come. Like I said, was so tough coming out, and even to the fact that Salute Billy Dan's even talked about how you had that reputation, and when you grabbed the microphone, you were a terror every time you stepped on the stage or grabbed the microphone. How do you personify your style on the mic rather than go up there and just rapping?
You know what? It depends. Like if it's a thing where I'm in the booth rocking, it's one thing. So now that whatever I create in the vocal booth, I have to be able to translate that live on stage. So I try to make sure I give them real energy. So the realer an MC stays, the easier it is for him to present the artwork live, because that's where it matters, is live. See, in the booth, you could do it over and over until you feel like you got it right. But you got one shot on that stage to get it rocking. So, you know, you got to make sure that you keep it in a place where it's automatic. So you're not forcing it, or you trying to do something that's not naturally your personality. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do everything the same. You know, I don't wake up angry every morning. I don't wake up sad. I don't wake up. We have different levels of emotions, or we have to have different levels of conversation. So a true MC is the one that can take that emotion, match it to the feelings of what he got, and match it as a feeling to the words that have to come out of his mouth and make it rhyme and stay on beat.
And that's lyrical technique.
That's what I do.
Okay.
So it's not like you know, people can think all they want. They know what they're going to get when they put me on the song, but they don't. Only thing they can guarantee is I'm going to body that shit. Because that's my goal. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to make sure I leave my name in a place where people say, yo, he killed that shit.
Well, yeah, and that's called the presence. And that's what a lot of people, I think, miss when it comes to what is an MC rather than a person who raps on the stage. Because an MC has a presence. You know, when we talk about mic controller, control the crowd, and all this other stuff, we talk about the person that gets up there and don't even have to say anything, and the crowd's already mesmerized by their presence. I mean, when Malcolm X spoke, he came to the podium and people hushed before his voice even came, because they knew they were going to get something.
Right.
Even Martin Luther King, and his voice was very powerful, but when he stood up there, people waited. I want to ask you, as a person who's an orator to the urban community, how do you grab the listener's ear and their eyes when you hit the stage?
Well, one thing I always try to tell MCs is what I do is I make it my battle is not with anyone else. It's with the audience's energy. So my job is to make them pay attention. So I got eye contact with everybody in the first 5 rows that I could see. I got eye contact. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at each individual person and how they responded to me. Sometimes I remember one time I played in France. And I never forget, me and Premier played in France, and it was a room full of white kids, man, and I was like, there's a lot of white audience, and I rock the same way, no matter what. I don't change my words and none of that stuff and shit. I do it just like I do it. So I got on the stage and I'm rocking, and it was a black dude and a black girl standing at the very front, leaning on the front of the stage monitor. And they was making this face at me like, yeah, right, whatever, like, you know, they wasn't into what me and Preem was doing. So I did a song called "I Never Put My Focus Away." So I never told nobody this before. It's the first time I ever said it. So I remember Premier looks at me, and when we dropped the record, you know, I got so caught up emotionally in performing that record that I fell to my knees in the middle of the verse and started punching the stage, and I broke my hand. Yeah, I broke my hand. I didn't, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same. But I broke my hand, and then I looked at them like I did that whole third verse, looking that girl in her face, And by the time I finished that round, they was giving me my props, hard body. And that's the thing right there that makes it fun. It wasn't personal. I didn't dislike them, and it was my job as an artist to bring them into my fold. That's what they paid to see. So I couldn't be mad at them for feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? It happened to me before one time in Germany. A kid, I was so on point with my verse, my vocals, that the kid thought I was lip syncing. So he accused me of lip singing at the front of the stage. I think DJ Prince Paul was DJing for me on that tour, and the kid said him and his girl said I was lip syncing. So I told him stop the record, and I went back and I did it a cappella, just so I could make sure I drug them into the fold. And my voice matched so perfect because that's the way you're supposed. It's like a singer. You don't like when singers try to sing the hit records different than the way the record goes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's as a spitter or a bar master or MC, whatever you want to call them. I make sure I give you exactly what the record has.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's unadulterated truth. Yeah, when you give somebody that truth, then there's no denying that you feel that electricity. And you've been rocking for over 20 years.
Yeah,
so, pardon me, over 30 years. So salute to you on longevity. Where some of these people are making songs and they're not going to even last 6 months.
Yeah, but that's, so funny. I like that though. You know why? Because I always have something to compare myself to. So we always need obstacles. I think obstacles are so necessary to keep you on your game. So all the shit that you hear that you don't like, people have to look at that as a good thing. Say, yo, man, this is all the kind of stuff that I ain't supposed to be doing. I'm right. I got you need something to compare your stuff to so that you sounding different and individualizing yourself as an artist for people who love your music. So that's not a bad thing. I listen to a lot of dudes complaining about new music, and I love the fact that these young cats is doing what they're doing. Because it makes what I'm doing so much bigger in my world, because it gives people another choice to have. And when you are the choice, the chosen one, or the people choose your music, and it's all this music out here going on, you're supposed to be proud of that.
Well, yeah, and you have that reason because, like I said, you make quality music. You're not somebody who's get off my lawn, I'm still hot, even though you're not. You've always have a consistent level of respectability on the microphone, and you make good songs.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm a fan. I mean, and I got to do my research, so I can't talk to you about stuff I don't know.
No, I get it, and I appreciate that. But intentionally, I try to make a record that I could talk. I like to try to keep the conversation in my peer group. I mean, sometimes we could sit around and try to talk to these young dudes all you want, but ain't nobody I come up in the time when did nobody grab me by my ear and tell me, hey, come pay attention to this. I'm gonna teach you how to box, or I'm gonna teach you how to rap, or I'm gonna teach you how to work. My pops would say, man, get use this how you change the oil in your car. And this is I'm a man's man. Like this is like screwdrivers and wrenches and shit. You got to know how to fix shit when it breaks. Like I come up in that era,
right?
You know what I'm saying? We come up in an era when we learn how to do things that men do.
Right.
We gotta be protectors of the household and all that shit. I came up in that time, so I look at that as with my music, my catalog, and who I make songs with, and who I choose to have the right to use me on their resume. Like I have to be in charge of that, because these dudes out here nowadays, they'll throw their grandmother on your record with you and screw the whole shit up, and don't even give you the courtesy of a phone call and say, hey man, everybody ain't supposed to be on songs with everybody. That's just don't work like that.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? So if your catalog don't mean enough for you to babysit, to police that or to monitor that shit, then you really ain't about no hip hop. You just trying to be famous and shit, and you jock riding everybody, don't jumping on everybody records. Like that shit is corny to me. So I'm very protective of my work, how I work, who I work with, why I'm working with them. Like I want to know what's really popping. If it ain't right, then we ain't doing it. That's period. I don't give a fuck about how much money you got. None of that shit means nothing to me, because when I'm dead and gone, I don't want people pulling up songs and saying, this song, he should have never rapped with this motherfucker. I'm sure there's one or two out there.
Okay.
Somebody gonna say that. They're gonna say that about I did a few favors in my day, but the verse is still fire. That's what matters. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
All right, so you kind of changed my interview, and I like that because that means we're organically speaking. I want to talk about song selection and who you did songs with. One of my favorite songs that you did is "Tell 'Em While I'm Here," and that was your first solo album as Bumpy Knuckles, right?
Oh, Industry Shakedown?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
That beat. Now, see, for me, when I listen to hip hop, I don't listen for singles. I listen for tracks, like the real songs, the feeling. And that's a very off-kilter beat. And the thing that I've noticed about you throughout your career, while people choose either subtle beats or powerful beats, you can take an off beat and make it work perfectly with your voice. How do you pick your beats? And how do you inflect your voice perfectly on a track?
Well, I like to like when Pete Rock played me stuff, I try to get or Premier or whoever does. I try to rock on stuff that drags my flow into a different direction that I haven't been already. Like you're not going to hear me rapping the same on every beat. If people are really paying attention, they'll notice every verse I spit is customized for that particular track. That's why a lot of times when you go online and you hear people try to remix my acapellas and they can't get it. It's hard to get. Some of them they can get it close, but they can't never get the flow down tight because it's not customized for that track. So you have to do some work to remix one of my songs like acapella wise. And I hear a lot of dudes just throw their beat underneath it and the verse could be 94 beats per minute, their beat could be 86 beats per minute, and they just play it like it be off, and I'll be like, this is whack as fuck, But but I mean, like when I listen to music, I try to rock on stuff that makes me rhyme in different patterns. Like I'm listening to the instruments, I'm listening to what's going on, and I'll pick me an instrument in that track to write the flow to, so that nothing is ever the same. There may be similar kinds of styles and flows, but some songs, it's like anything else. It's like when you say, the temperament of your voice. Sometimes you'll come back to that temperament based on your mood. So I get that part. And when it's me writing songs, some beats are similar to others, and I may go back into that style, and that's what fits. But it's always well listened to. I started studying the music more as I got older too. Like I used to just jump right on shit and go in, but nowadays I take my time. I study the music more. I find kind of creative ways to try to match my vocals flow with the beat that I'm making so that it's unique. That's very important to me for it to be something people say, damn, I wasn't expecting that one,
Yeah, that keeps your hip hop alive. And I mean, even with besides beat selection, you have an eclectic collection of features that you have done songs with a lot of like stupendous MCs that people have to respect your regimen. One of my favorite features that you have is with M.O.P. What's mine I love, when I fight, push to shove, hand in hand, cause you can't stop. I love that record. And the reason why is because, your voice makes that hook so believable. Already Fame has a smooth, dirty flow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Billy, like I always tell certain MCs, when you get on the mic, you make your voice sound bigger than the track, and Billy always does that.
Right.
Then you came right behind it, and you were like the finishing gut punch, a body blow to the track.
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You can finish your question.
No, I was gonna say, how do you temper your style or create your style for the track when you were other MCs?
See, this is a perfect question for me to let you know. Like, all right, you see what I said about? You see how nowadays people just rap on songs, and they email the vocal to somebody, and then you don't know who's gonna end up on that record by the end of the day. They're gonna start throwing all kind of cornballs on the song and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I had the privilege of coming up in the era where people actually went to the studio and people had to come into the studio to get on songs. I've seen M.O.P's process. I learned how to make myself a part of the fold when I watched their technique. I said, okay, it's like training. It's like if two UFC fighters train together, they're gonna learn from each other. You see what I'm saying? So when I did the I Love song with them, I came up with the idea because we was all in there struggling, trying to figure out a nice hook, and it was like everybody was just moving around. It was a crowded Gangstar studio session. We was all in there, and I remembered. I said I got a song I've been working on with a cat, but with my man Sid, SID. The original version of that was a song that Sid did for me, and I said the hook over the beat. So they was like, okay, that's fire, but we talking about love. And I said, well, listen what we're going to do. Love is a very powerful word. This is what I mean when I say a lot of MCs, they just be rapping to be rapping. But when you really deep with your thought process enough to say the broad stroke power of the word love, you can, so I said, we just have to break it down to mean a full range of things. I love beats that are hardcore, dirty, and raw. I love taking niggas burners when they scared to draw. I love plotting on my enemies. I love to attack. I love beating niggas down when they rhymes is whack. So you saying the word love can apply to love to do good things, love to do bad things, love to do ugly things, love to do vicious things. Love is love. You feel me? And that's the power of that song. So Billy and Fame, just knowing how strong of an impact they are when they work, I had to make sure that my job was done and bring home that record. Because when you working with powerful MCs like that, you have to make sure and you put yourself in a third verse position. You got to make sure you're strong enough to close that record. People should want to hear that song again after your verse go off. So I did what I had to do, you know what I mean? And they've always pushed me to that level because I know how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the debate is, does the person who closed out the song have the strongest verse, you know? And by far, I can say.
I don't know if it's mandatory, but I do know it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to any of the third verse records I'm on, I make sure that I give the listener something that they haven't heard in the first two verses. You understand what I'm saying? So
that's your intent.
Yeah, my intent is to separate myself as an artist so that they feel like they're getting the feature. Because most dudes just jump on and say anything and think just because their voice is on there that's a feature. That's not what a feature is. You have to make sure that they get the feature. You got to show up and deliver that shit. Make sure that they say when that shit go off, like, oh my God, play that shit again, yo.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Make that rewind button useful. If you can't do that, then you ain't no feature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. That's something that is missing. I'm glad you gave me that jewel because there's many times that we hear songs where somebody gets on it and you're like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves you wanting to hear a complete song rather than a good track.
Yo, let me tell you something. That's how I got my deal with Flava Unit because I did Hot Potato, and everybody was talking about Hot Potato. Everybody that H.E.A.L was playing that record for was like, "Oh my God, who the fuck is that?" Like that was the response. So he immediately figured I got to sign this dude because I did a show. Naughty by Nature had a show, and they brought me out. It was in Jersey somewhere, some kind of a theater. I don't know if it was a theater or some kind of a big arena place. And we went in there, and they brought me on stage to do Hot Potato for the first time. And immediately, I bolted to mid stage, and I barked my verse hard as shit, man. And I mean, it was like almost an attack on the audience verbally, and just my whole energy. If my energy could be translated in Blu-ray light, I would have covered that room. That whole room would have been Blu-rayed out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made H.E.A.L saw that. He said, yo, gotta sign this motherfucker. So that's when I say MCs have to put that kind of energy And, the deliveries ain't nothing unique about it. It's like dudes just doing the same old flow, same old patterns, same old. So I'm loving all of that shit, bro, because I'm not a part of the monkey show. I'm not a
Right.
part of the silliness and the dumb shit. I'm not part of the copycat and do what everybody else do. I'm not a part of that shit,
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that goes back full circle to what I said about you being able to transcend what the game is, because you went from, I remember lines like, we were African kings to Martin Luther King, now they want to turn us to Rodney King, to then do the verse on the M.O.P feature. I mean, what was it? Love? The Love song. I forgot the name of it. I apologize.
I love, yeah.
You are a full-rounded MC, and that is the spectrum that hip-hop is missing today, that the full circle MC is very few in between. I'm not saying we don't have any, because mainstream will only tell you that there's only four rappers, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, and Future, and maybe there's some other new guys coming, where if you're really in the hip-hop culture, you know that there's many active MCs that are very well-rounded.
Yeah.
You have a feature on the Sadat X and LA Sensei record. You've done songs. You've done the song with Nas. You've done songs with Trick, O.G.E.A.L, and Trex.
Yeah.
Was that project? See, some of y'all were going to do, or is this a one song deal, or?
Nah, well, we actually have the O.G.E.A.L album finished. All we have to do is kind of pull together. We have another video. Actually, we shot the first video. That movie, it was directed by Treach, and we actually shot that in Jersey. And the second movie that we did for O.G.E.A.L was done in Detroit and directed by Trick. So it's a story of three guys who get themselves in some trouble, and now we on the run from the police. So we got to run from Jersey. We got in trouble in Jersey. We robbed somebody in Jersey. They broke me out of jail, and now we got to go to Detroit because Trick got a place where we can lay low for a little while. So we get down to Detroit. Some cops get on to us. We bang out with the police, all kind of crazy shit, man. And the shit is like a movie, bro. And O.G.E.A.L was interrupted because I know Trick had to go on the road for a big tour. And so Trick started shooting a movie, and I started doing some other shit on my end. And but it's done. Like we just have to come together and figure out a game plan for marketing. It's gonna be. it's raw. Knots did the whole album, so you know what it is.
Yeah, Knots is great music.
Yeah,
so wait a minute. So wait, if Trench did the first visual and Trick did the second, are you gonna get behind the camera and do the third one?
Yeah, where the story goes, we end up somehow getting out of Detroit, heading to New York, and then that's when I direct the third episode. You know what I'm saying?
With the transition of hip hop, with the transition of hip hop going visual, I would figure that would be a natural thing for an MC nowadays. Is that part of your vision?
I always did that shit.
Okay.
I always was a guy, a self-contained artist, and I realized early that I had to be that way when I walked into a meeting at MCA Records, and they told me that they couldn't help me to get to make a record with Barry White. I wanted to make a song with Barry White. He had a beat called your something about your weakness or something like that. And it was a dope ass track, and I wanted to rap on it so bad, but I wanted to do it with Barry White. And I was like, yo, y'all a record company, man. Like, why wouldn't he make I just knew Barry White was gonna make a song with me. I was like, I want to make a song with Barry White. And when they couldn't make it happen, at that point I realized, I said, you know what? I got to get self-contained, man, because this ain't what I thought it was. And I could have been I'm sure I was overshooting it as a young, eager artist trying to get down and, come rock with the people I grew up on. Like, that's where my head was at. You know what I mean? I wanted to take hip-hop in a good. I wasn't trying to do no slow shit either. I was trying to do some hardcore shit with when I say hardcore, I mean shit that was up-tempo and funky, like with name brand cats. But I had the misconception of thinking that labels could make that happen, and it wasn't about that. So I had to really wake up. I had to really wake up because I see nowadays cats will just pull up on you on the internet or in the street and say, yo, man, I rhyme. We should do something together. Like, and sometimes you look at them like, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know me, though. I don't even know you. You think you could rap, you could rock with me, then you could walk up and rap with me? Like, everybody's looking to be discovered, but they're not respecting the people who already have been discovered. And
Right.
that's the problem. There's no etiquette in the game, man, and shit like that just turns you off. So when you become self-contained, you focus less on that and more on making quality work that stands out for your catalog. That's all.
But when you're a stand-up person, a stand-up MC, and a well-respected MC, then it seems like people will respect who you are and come to you to not only build their own names, but to make the best quality records. Am I correct?
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck who you are, dog. I'm hard to impress, number one. Number two, a lot of people think they're really saying dope shit, dog, and they shit don't mean nothing. Like, you can
Right.
listen to them, they got the hard snarl down, and they pronouncing the shit out of their words every fourth bar. They say, like, all of that basic shit they doing, it doesn't amount to a new idea because it's been done already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look for when I decide to do something with somebody. They may think they different, but if it don't move me to go with it, I'm not putting my name or my voice on it. You know what I'm saying? I like to be exclusive, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not mad at what they doing. It just don't fit me. I'm not rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I hand select anybody that I want to work with, because I try to make sure that I do projects that have some kind of concept to it. You know, conceptually, I want to be that guy. So, yo, man, he did Collection, he did Connection, he did Industry Shakedown, he did Crazy Like a Fox, he did Pop Duke, you know, he did OGP, he did OGology. Like, I want all of those different branches to have their own standing on the tree trunk.
Word.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't want people to say, yo, man, I heard Freddie Foxxx. Hey, yo, I come from the era when MCs were singing and harmonizing. You know what I'm saying? I still got that to do on some of these joints. And a lot of these dudes done try to brain fuck everybody into believing that hip hop is about talking shit all the time and saying the most reckless shit and making it rhyme, but it's deeper than that.
Yeah, hip hop has lost a lot of style. I believe that too. Hip hop has lost a lot of style.
Hey, I said it on the. Tell me what when you put the first song on Industry Shakedown. And the song is called 24 Hours. And it says, and I say on that, it is no longer 1999, and we live in a world of one-track mind, where the industry feeds us fashion design that creates MCs that cannot rhyme. You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling you that in the future, hip-hop is going to start focusing on fashion more than it is talent. And that's what it's going to be. They're going to dress a bunch of people up and throw a mic in their hand and push them on stage and take the DJ out and put the tape on and do them. And y'all got mad at Milli Vanilli. Come on, son. You heard? Think about what's happening right now. And then you got a whole bunch of people co-signing that shit because they see where the checks are going. So they want to be in the loop. So they want to stay in the good graces of people. It's a bunch of sucker shit going on out here, man. Instead of people saying, yo, man, I gotta stay making my shit fire. I gotta stay. We so busy telling everybody that they shit is whack that we overlooking good quality guys who know how to make good songs. And they got these dudes stuck in their old classics just doing old school tours. Like, I ain't even making no new shit no more. Cause ain't nobody gonna listen to it anyway. That shit is crazy to me.
You're actually correct, and I thank you for saying that, because that's one thing that I always get flack on with Heritage Hip Hop. I tell people, if I don't like your music, I don't like it. I'll interview you because basically you have a right to have a voice, but if we can have a dialogue, if somebody can tell you or show you that there's better than what people are hand feeding you, then I would take it upon myself, not saying I know everything, but to aid in keeping the culture alive. So my question to you is, how do you keep the culture alive, and what's the legacy of Bumpy Knuckles going to be when his time for recording is over?
You know what I do? Yeah, if anybody follows me on Twitter, every morning I say good morning hip hop. You know what I mean? And I tweet that out there to the world in this cyber traffic jam that we call life, that we live every day. I go online and I tweet "Good morning hip hop," and I'm saying hip hop culture. Everybody that identifies with hip hop culture, I could say good morning to them in one word or two words. Good morning hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. You know, I keep the culture alive because I keep doing what I learned how to do. You know what I'm saying? I keep doing what I learned how to do. I rock the mic the way I learned how to rock the mic, and I don't try to step outside of what I do to try to appease ears that really don't want to hear what I got to say anyway, because I'm talking to a different peer group. You know what I'm saying? So I stick to the script, and I keep the elements involved. I keep scratches in my music. I keep, you know, the kind of vibe and feeling that I knew I learned from. I big up I did a song on Pop Duke Volume 1 called Legends.
Yep, you did.
14, I was 14 when the Cold Crush came in, while like a young pit pup and trained in. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking straight up history right there, and I'm bigging up the guys that I had to study and learn from. I keep giving them credit. You'll hear me speak about them on a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people are so busy looking at themselves that they don't see greatness in other people. That don't mean I have to stop doing what I'm doing. My reward don't come from man. I never look at reward coming from man. You know what I'm saying? So I just have to continue doing what I'm doing. That's how I keep the culture alive. I don't let people forget that there was something before them that was still called hip hop.
Isn't that a lost art in the culture right now, though? It's paying homage, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people actually pay homage. A lot of people just say they're the greatest thing out right now, and they don't throw it back to the people who have inspired them.
Yeah, which you know what's so funny? That should make, if anybody had half a brain, that would make them search for the jewel out there that does that, which makes it a special, specific piece. Anything that you search for that you can't find in abundance makes it more valuable. So why would people think it's a good idea to shoot down the 1 or 2% of people who do pay homage? Those are the songs you should be trying to say, yo, y'all, I got something y'all don't got. I got a song that's paying homage to the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. Y'all don't got this. DJ should be like, I got this shit. Y'all don't got it. It becomes special that way. They'll do it with a piece of vinyl, but that's only because it's physically vinyl.
Right.
You see? But they should do that with the songs themselves. It's only a lost art because people ain't looking for it.
So let's pay some homage real quick. Like I said, I could pay homage to you because I put out, like I said, you could actually tell I know the history and I listen to your music. It's not about just bringing up titles. I mean, I could tell you the experience I had with your music. Let's pay some homage to an MC that has fallen. How important was Guru to you as an MC and a fellow MC, and how special was it to have the Militia made and to see it continue with the new Gangstar album?
Wow. Yeah, Guru was super important. It was his I remember touring with Gangstar, and me and Guru would sit back we had rhyme books at the time. And we wasn't doing rhymes in the phone. We was writing in books. And he had his books spread out all over his bunk, and I had a couple of my books out, and we was just going back and forth, just reading different verses from our books, you know. And then Premier said, "Both of y'all niggas is trash." and then me and Guru looked at each other. We all just busted out laughing. Guru was energy. Guru was energy. When Guru walked on stage, he was energy. He reminded me a lot of a jazz poet almost, like, and I say jazz because he had an old soul. Guru has an old soul. He was definitely Langston Hughes and all of that. Like, he was that. You know what I mean? He was hip hop's art form. He was the art form of MCing. I seen him on tour, man, captivate so many foreign ears and eyes. He fit in everywhere he went. We was in Tokyo, he fit in. We was in Stuttgart, he fit in. We was in Rome. He fit in everywhere we went. Guru fit in. He never looked out of place. He knew his fashion was right. His performance was right. Guru would get drunk, man, and just walk around any city he want. Everybody showed him love. I remember when he was in Chicago one time in the PJs with the roughest dudes, man. And they loved him to death, man. They dropped him off back to the hotel. He was always good money everywhere we went, man. He'd be drunk. Nobody would violate him. He was always on his game. And he fit in everywhere. So being a well-rounded MC, his music, you can listen to his rhymes. Like he had patterns that were not typical rap flows, which is why I like rapping with him, because he didn't sound like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's there's only a handful of MCs that you could say, I know when that voice come on, I don't even have to second guess who it is. You know, guys like Sadat X.
Yeah. Chuck D.
Guys like Chuck D and Be Real, and guys
Jada.
like Jay. Well, you know, I've seen a couple of Jadakiss wannabes out there now. That's kind of sad, because Jadakiss. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Jadakiss is probably one of my favorite, and I'm gonna call him New Era, because he was a New Era MC to me.
Yeah.
Yo, he was a sleeper for a lot of cats. Jadakiss is fucking insane, man. Like his delivery is fire. I've never heard him say a whack line ever.
Me neither.
You know? So I mean, it's guys like that I got tons of respect for. Like he could write for people. His wordplay is fire. He knows his way around that microphone in the booth, man. It's very few guys that I can really give that kind of prop to like that. Like a guy like LL Cool J, man. People can say what they want about LL Cool J, but LL is the king, man.
He's a superstar.
He's the king, man.
Transcends the culture.
He made hip hop cool, like to me, like Run DMC pushed it to the max level, with not even the max, but just to another level with rocking with rock groups and all that. I've always been a fan of the mixture of rock and hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim, you know, they gave it a seriousness, a toughness. They gave it Rakim gave it when Rakim came out, dudes started changing the way they flowed. He changed, everybody's flow in hip hop started changing. Go back and listen to pre-Rakim hip hop and see what happened when he started rapping. When he finally came out. You know what I'm saying? There's only a handful of guys, Cool G Rap, you know who that is when he get on that microphone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't.
You don't think you're one of those?
I'm sure I am. Of course, I tried to be. I think people would say that about me. They know when it's my voice. They know when I'm coming on. They hear that growl and that bark. You know what I mean? They hear those tones coming through the background, sneaking up on the mic. I know they know what it is. You know, I don't have to speak about myself. You know what I'm saying? I never have to speak about myself, because all you gotta do is play my record, and you'll hear growth and development throughout the years of me rocking the mic. I had to grow into my style. I know I wasn't a better MC back then than I am now. I know that I was a different MC back then than I am now. But, you know, I gave the record everything it needed for that song. When I did the Heal Yourself record with KRS-ONE.
Great record, by the way.
Yeah, you know, Everybody Rise, as I present to a jet black
crowd. What it's like to be black and proud. Yes, right. I remember that.
In a world where white is right, but not tonight.
But not tonight. This is a black man's fight.
I knew what I was saying and who I was talking to. So this is what I'm saying. When there's a custom made version of you going on a piece of work, you wake up one morning and you and that person you make that song with, or whatever, are business partners. So you got to make sure that you cover your side of the deal. I got to give this dude some fire. I got to put some, you know, people don't focus on that no more. Everybody wants the money. Get in the money.
Chase the bag. You know? Yeah, chase the bag coach is destroying the game right now to me.
But then look at this. The same people who chasing the bag, or the same people who say, oh man, y'all doing it too much, they get in the bag and don't want to pay the people that are worth the price. So it's a double-edged sword. You know, people don't want to pay the people that are worth the money. They rather everything is about the dollar, good or bad. It boils down to money. So the sad part about it is, what's really lost, what's a lost art is teaching people how to really do it. Nobody's studying no more.
Yeah.
Nobody's studying. You don't have to do hip hop the way I do it. You know, you just have to carry it a certain way. You know, a running back still carries the ball, tucks the ball. I don't care what running back you're running with. You know, they taught and trained to tuck the ball, to protect the ball. Everybody's running the ball like they wide receivers, just with it all out in their hands. Like everybody's fancy pants, and they're not really protecting the culture like anybody and their mama could say around. You got people on top 10 lists. You're like, who the fuck is that? I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A bunch of people's opinions have become relevant. That really should just keep their shit to themselves, because they don't even know. You can't tell me who's the greatest of all time when you haven't listened to every MC from all time. All time ain't even over yet.
Well, that's my issue with lists. I don't like top 5 lists, because if I'm gonna make a top 5 list, I'm gonna make fun of the people who make top 5 lists. Now, it's not bad to have a preference list, but you can't say that is the top list, because that's unfair.
Right.
Well, even still with that, after listening to the Militia, the Militia 1 through 4, how could you not be considered as one of the best when you have so many credible features?
I don't care, dog. It's 1, 3, 4, and it's 1, 3, 4. So I didn't do 2. It's 1, 3, 4. So I don't care. I don't care about that. You know why? Because a person who opens themselves up to that level of criticism, or that level of critiquing, where they can accept somebody or press for somebody to tell them that they're the best at something, can't never complain when somebody tell them, nigga, you suck, nigga. I hate the way you rhyme. You make me sick. I hope you choke on your next verse, nigga. I hate the way you spit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't care about that. I don't care if people think I'm the best or if they think I'm the worst. I have a job to do, and that's that, because I know what it's gonna be. I know what it's gonna be, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this with no concern in my heart for what it is. People ain't gonna look at what I'm doing until I die. And when I'm gone, that's when it's going to be, oh, this nigga was nice. Oh, that motherfucker. Because they don't want me to hear them say that.
Right.
People don't want you to hear them say that, because they make everything is about them. It's the most selfish shit in the world. But I don't care. I don't care, dog. I just still have a job to do. And my job is to make sure that I rock the mic. I swore to it, and I gotta stick to that shit. That's what it is. Period.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was appreciative of the fact on Grumpy Old Man, that was your daughter who came in?
Yes.
And she said, y'all niggas still whack. You came on. I appreciate the fact of keeping tradition and keeping family a part of the game. So I didn't mean to keep you too long, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for this.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate rapping with you, Joe. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Heritage hip hop is going to be it's important to people to know that we do have a history, man, and that history has to always be brought to light. So thank you for keeping that alive. Appreciate it.
Well, as long as a veteran like you will always be there to support us, we'll always make sure we got a platform to support you. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you before we end this. I told some people, I'm going to be talking to Bumpy Knuckles and Heritage Hip Hop, and people are like, oh my God, I got to be there for that. I'm like, it's on the phone. They really wanted you to come through the studio so they could shake your hand and dap you and say thank you for your music.
And
so
I'll make it my business to do that at some point. Are you in Jersey?
Yeah, we're in Jersey.
I mean, Jersey periodically. I'll call you and we'll do that.
No problem. So if you can, please give a drop them what you're coming out with, your social media, and then we'll close this interview out with one last question after that.
Yeah, man. So everybody can find me on Instagram at Bumpy Knuckles 77. They can find me on Twitter at Bumpy Knuckles. I got a couple of different projects I'm working on. I'm working on Collection, the re-release of Collection with DJ Premier. I'm working on Pop Duke 2 with Knots. I'm working on a project with Mayfield from De La Soul, the Gatekeeper and the Overspeaker. I'm working on OGP with the Trick, and I'm multitasking a bunch of things, man. So I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm having fun doing it. That's the best part about it. You know?
That's what's up. And here's the last question of the interview, and we're going to close it off like this. Usually I ask people what is their legacy, and I asked you that already. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask most veteran MCs. What keeps you going, and what makes you just as good now as you were back then?
Well, I think I'm better now than I was back then. And that's because I'm constantly studying. And I work my brain to learn how to produce music that I like to rap on. And the other part of your question is, what keeps me going is I'm good at it. So, it's a wonderful, peaceful place for me to be in the studio. And I try to get in here as much as I can outside of my regular life and the things that I do moving around. But, this is my space. And when I'm in here, man, I'm at my best when I could be creative. So I hope everybody appreciates the music and keeps loving what I do. And as long as they do, I'll keep making it, keep doing it.
All right. So once again, I appreciate you for giving me the time to talk to one of my favorite MCs in the spectrum of hip hop. And I wish you much more success. And the only way to stop a mic is to stop breathing. So I pray that the Most High gives you many more breaths and many more ability and to create.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. I really do.
All right.
All right, my brother.
So once again, we thank you for listening to our latest feature presentation featuring Bumpy Knuckles on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Please, if you would like to contribute to Heritage Hip Hop, we ask that you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube. Also become members of our website, www.heritagehiphop.com, where we feature the best and unknown underground artists. Right now, we are featuring the Jersey Playlist Series Part 1 with Jay Wonder, Samad Savage, Ibmatic, and Solus. And we have a project that we're sponsoring, Out the Mud Music Group's mixtape, BC Era. And we're waiting for the album, AD, Year of the Lords. So check this out. Heritage Hip Hop is here not only to save the culture, fortify the culture, we're here out of respect and love for you. So if you would like to come on Heritage Hip Hop, please hit us on our website, hit us on the Instagram, and let's make history. We are the real estate of New Jersey hip hop because it lives right here at Heritage Hip Hop. Once again, we thank you for your support. To everybody out there, we say peace, and we out.